Eating disorders are prevalent in today's society and are linked to many mental disorders. The female thin and beautiful ideal and muscular male ideal has flooded the media and has been linked to a range of psychological problems such as eating disorders and body image dissatisfaction. To understand the origins of eating disorders, we must delve into the history of our ancestors to find patterns and reasons as to why people practice certain eating habits. Fasting and purging was a part of religious practices in ancient Greece and Egypt as a way to contact supernatural forces and to expel evil entities. Fasting was also performed in the Christian tradition to bring people together for a mass feast, to heal, and to exorcise demons. One of the earliest recorded psychological disturbance in abnormal eating behavior was by Richard Morton, who diagnosed an 18-year-old patient with nervous consumption and atrophy. Her symptoms included upset digestion, extreme thinness, lack of appetite, and fainting spells which resembles a current DSM diagnosis for anorexia nervosa. Another case was a patient by the name of Ellen West who was under the care of a Dr. Binswanger in Switzerland when she committed suicide in 1933. Dr. Binswanger diagnosed and treated Miss West with schizophrenia. When Miss West did not respond to her treatments, Dr. Binswanger released her from this care, claiming her condition to be incurable. Miss West was then left to her own devices, which later led to her taking her own life. From Dr. Binswanger's notes, Dr. Albrecht Hirschmuller concluded that Miss West's condition and symptoms was anorexia nervosa in 2004. A common myth about eating disorder is that it is a white girl's disease and only affect white, middle to upper class females in their teen or college years. In retrospect, eating disorders do not discriminate when it comes to sexual orientation, sex, age, race, or class. Eating disorder is not an indication that a person has a problem with food, but it is an indicator of other underlying social and psychological problems. In the span of 20 years, several articles and studies have reported a disturbing change in size and weight of both male and female models portrayed in Western society and media. Over time, the cultural ideal for women's body size and shape has become considerably thinner and leaner, and men's body size and shape has become stronger and more muscular. A study by Kaczmarzyk and Davis has shown that from 1978 to 1998, Playboy centerfolds had a significant decrease in body measurement and weight, showing that 75% of women were less than 85% of their ideal body weight, and 70% were below the weight standards. From 1973 to 1997, Playgirl magazine male models has shown a significant increase in muscle mass. From these studies, it may well explain how cultural standards have influenced many adolescents to be preoccupied with their body image and the desire to try various weight loss practices to achieve the perfect body. Many of the advertisements we see are linked to eating disorders, but advertisers have not taken responsibility for the messages they portray. An increase in anorexia, bulimia, and dieting have increased during the last 3 decades. The average adolescent girl in the 1970s began dieting at the age of 14, and by the 90s, the average age had dropped to 8. About 81% of 10-year-old girls are afraid of weight gain and being fat, and almost half of these girls believe that they are happiest when they are on a diet. Advertisements portray women as beautiful and thin, light-skinned women. With these images, advertisers send the message to girls to increase their breast size while losing weight. Television commercials and magazine advertisements conveys the messages to young women that losing weight and applying beauty products will improve their self-esteem, which in turn will help them find happiness and love. Movies and television shows play critical roles on how people perceive themselves. Many young girls worldwide are pressured to fit in and attain the skinny movie star image. Many young girls and older women resort to eating disorders to achieve the distorted standards that being thin is beautiful or that thin is in, due to the portrayal of beautiful, skinny, and young actresses. An article by Dakota Smith titled "Black Women Ignore Many of Media's Beauty Ideals" explored the concept of beauty from both white and black women's standpoint. Smith pointed out that white women have negative views of themselves by seeing size 0 and 2 women in the media. In contrast, black women do not feel the same way as white women do by watching movies and television shows. In 1995, a study was done in Fiji on the effects of television on body image and eating disorders. The study found that girls who watched television shows and movies were 50% more likely to see themselves as fat compared to girls who did not watch television. Eating disorders in Fiji rose 5 times since the introduction of the television. This goes to show how the effects of television movies on body image and eating disorders involves gender and race of all young people worldwide. Research of the past 2 decades on eating disorders has shown that the vast majority of people with eating problems are women. Women are affected by eating disorders 8 to 10 times more than men. During the last 50 years, Studies have shown an increase in the incidence of eating disorders, with a reported prevalence rate of 0.48% for anorexia nervosa among young women ranging from 15 to 19 years of age. About 1 to 5% of adolescent girls meet the criteria for bulimia nervosa. Most studies and paper reviews today have hypothesized the link between eating disorders, body image disorders, weight control practices, and self-perception with mass media exposure. Staggering statistics reveal that on average, a child or adolescent watches up to 5 hours of television per day and spend an average of 6 to 7 hours viewing the various media combined. Eating disorders are a range of conditions expressed through abnormal or disturbed eating habits. These generally stem from an obsession with food, body weight, or body shape and often result in serious health consequences. In some cases, eating disorders even result in death. Among all types of eating disorders, anorexia nervosa and bulimia nervosa are the most common and prevalent worldwide. People who suffer from anorexia nervosa generally see themselves as overweight, restrict calorie intake, and avoid eating certain types of food. Most common types of symptoms are being considerably underweight, body weight and shape self-esteem issues, intense fear of gaining weight, and a very restricted eating pattern. Side effects of anorexia are thinning of bones, infertility, brittle hair and nails, and growth of lanugo, a layer of fine hair all over the body, usually around the jawline and neck. People with bulimia nervosa frequently eat unusually large amounts of food in a relatively short period of time, followed by an attempt to purge to compensate for the calories consumed and relieve gut discomfort. Common symptoms are recurrent episodes of binge eating and purging, a self-esteem that is overly influenced by body shape and weight, and a fear of weight gain. Side effects of bulimia may include inflamed sore throat, swollen salivary glands, tooth decay, severe dehydration, and hormonal imbalances. If you or a loved one suffers from an eating disorder, there are different resources available, such as support groups, websites, and various programs to help with recovery. A simple visit to your doctor, therapist, or nutritionist can make a life-saving difference.